and then present short-term, long-term.
So we're the Republic of Namibia. One of the kind of issues is a few years ago, you feel overwhelmed by the donor response. You spend most of your days coordinating donor funding, visiting dignitaries. It has to do with AIDS. So a short-term one was benefits of having that concept of action is that it's a relatively, it is government, so it can tend to be slower, direct allocation of funds. So with more flexibility, you can send it where you want to go. The next one is building relationships and networks with donors. That's one of the things. When you have that interaction, the person-to-person interaction, it's extremely important because that opens doors to everything, pretty much. Long-term. Under long-term, that Namibian government has the power. They keep it with them. They don't give their donor activities to another organization, NGO or anything. And they always, well, most of the time, they will try to act in the Namibian people's best interests.
Any questions on the role of the government of Namibia in the HIV/AIDS crisis?
I just wanted to ask something about the Namibian government has the power, but also over local jurisdictions and hospitals and municipalities.
Thank you. I do want to emphasize something that it's a really complicated role, and this country has only been independent for soon to be 23 years. They are in a very difficult, complicated situation, and they're handling it extremely well. We are part of that support structure, but what you find, and this isn't specific to Namibia, this is actually my experience in West Africa. When I were to go and meet with ministry-level officials, they would just have parade after parade of meetings that prevented them from doing their job. They're constantly trying to coordinate various donor funds. And people are probably hired for their technical expertise and then put in positions of being like donor representatives, which is really tough. So you'll see quite a bit throughout your service the role of the Namibian government in combating the HIV/AIDS crisis. You'll see that firsthand, and I hope you come away impressed. Because while there is bureaucracy, while there are hiccups, things work here a lot better than most countries I've seen. Thanks, CJ. Thanks to your group too. Yes. Next volunteer.
Sorry, I wrote small. So, we have an after-school program that is funded by the Catholic AIDS Response, and our president is a connected person, and we're running out of, our grants are running up, we're running out of funding. So our ideas for making our project more sustainable is working with the president to develop new ways and ideas for funding and using his networking to find people to help out with that. Our pursue local community funding, so the community gets more involved and invested in what's happening at the after-school program. Finding new grants and using, since it's a Catholic organization, that's a huge family already, and there's so many ways that you can, get funding that way. So using that as an outlet, and then some of the short-term things, keeping the program going keeping the program going and having a place where the kids can come after school and, be a little more educated and keep them out of trouble and, finding hobbies for them to do and care about, because that tends to be why kids get into trouble, is they don't have anything better to do. And then the long term is engaging the stakeholders, so engaging the parents, engaging the kids, that this program is worthwhile and it's important to the community. And giving the kids in the community the tools to become responsible adults and continue on that with their children and the rest of the
Just to emphasize, some of you will find yourself posted with very similar organizations. Well-intentioned, local, resource-constrained groups. They definitely have a profound role in both combating the AIDS crisis and mitigating it at the level of the community. You'll find yourself working with after-school groups. You'll find yourself maybe doing school lunches. But that's a very real and typical volunteer assignment. Those tend to be our partners. Next group. Don't all jump. Thanks.
So the World Bank basically gives out loans to developing countries, really low-income countries, and usually their loans are conditional upon what they deem is necessary, say fix your inefficiency or fix your infrastructure, and then you'll get the loans. But the good thing is they don't always require you to return the loans. So a short-term benefit would be it says immediate access to capital, and in fixing the HIV/AIDS problem, you'll have more jobs, so more testing of AIDS, more counselors, more health clinics, more doctors, or whoever works in the clinics, nurses. And then a long-term benefit would be, hopefully it helps to reduce the HIV/AIDS rate. And then the capital doesn't necessarily have to be paid back. In a lot of public health problems, they're public goods, so what you put in, it's not an immediate economic return. The return might be global or might not be measurable immediately, so that's a good thing. So going on to the next one is economic stimulation, maybe on a globalized scale. And then being recognized as part of the World Bank and international community. The World Bank does a lot of research and puts out a lot of, like numbers as far as who's better at this and who's better at that. So to be recognized by the World Bank is a good thing, but on the other side, some countries don't want to be recognized as a country that needs help, so that's kind of a double-edged sword as well.
Yeah, just to further that, there's definitely a role for organizations like the World Bank in combating the AIDS crisis. I would hate to be in charge of marketing for the World Bank because they've had a rough few decades and they have a less than stellar reputation. But having actually done a little work inside the walls of the World Bank, I can tell you everyone there has the best of intentions. They're wicked smart, and they certainly know what they're doing. So they do play a positive role. You just volunteered.
I did.
Awesome. Cool.
That's it.
There should be something sticking to that.
So our organization is called I Teach, or ITEC. And we are a private organization. We are for-profit and work with the government of Namibia to develop technical materials for the Ministry of Health. We've really done great work in helping translate technical medical information in local languages. So, and with our staff, we have, most of our staff is not from Namibia, and we're highly skilled professionals. As well, we have a group of grant writers. So, as for, we really focused on what we were going to do in Namibia, distributing material. We didn't talk as much on short-term and long-term goals, but I will go through the three, and then we can also add on to some of the short-term and long-term that contribute to some of our ideas. So we talked about creating computer presentations in 17 different languages with pictures, creating HIV informational pamphlets, and creating children's books to target children taking ARVs. So our short-term successes tackling the spread of HIV/AIDS is that we're able to distribute information to all different ethnic groups with different languages. And we also are highly skilled, so we're providing information that is up to date, that is critical knowledge, and we have the resources to be able to create that information. As well, a short-term benefit, we have a group of grant writers, we have the Namibian government who is paying us for these materials, so we're not worried about our long-term funding. That's not a major issue for us in the future. Long-term, this information can be used for an extended period of time, so it has that longevity.
Dirty little secret.
So, down on the power.
We're good. Don't worry about it.
It's down on the power.
I'm sorry?
No, it's down.
It's fun. Yeah, just go. Thanks. Good. We don't get the dirty little secret on tape. Dirty little secret is that.